I'll call this meeting to order. Could we all rise for the flag salute? Yeah, we'll let the kids get organized for a sec. That's okay.
Flag salute, guys.
We're going to rise for the flag salute, guys. Thank you. Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of reflection and silence for all those in harm's way, home and abroad. Thank you. You may be seated. Statement of advance notice. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey have been satisfied by the inclusion of the date, time, and place of this meeting in the notice of regular meetings adopted by this board on January 6, 2025. Such schedule and notice of meetings is posted at the Municipal Building, the Mount Olive Library, the Board of Education offices, and the 6 schools. Was submitted to the Daily Record for publication on January 7, 2025, and was filed with the Clerk of Mount Olive Township on January 8, 2025. I direct that this announcement be entered into the minutes of this meeting. And we'll take a roll call, please.
Mrs. Aquino?
Here.
Mrs. Fenn? Here. Mrs. Figuera? Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Dr. Giordano?
Here.
Mrs. Melendez?
Here.
Mrs. Narcisse?
Here.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Orzillo?
Here.
And with that, we'll take a motion, Ms. Fenton, for the approval of the minutes 2.1 through 2.2.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Any questions or comments from the board? No? We'll take a roll call then.
Mrs. Aquino?
Yes.
Dr. Giordano?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenn?
Yes.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendez?
Yes.
Mrs. Narcisse?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Orzillo?
Yes.
And any communications or petitions from any members of the board or the superintendent?
No.
Anyone? No? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to superintendent's report.
I must say this is one of my favorite presentations of the year. At this time, I would love to invite the cadets from our ROTC at the high school to do their annual report of their team.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for having us tonight. I'm Cadet Colonel Ona, and I'm this year's unit commander. I'm joined here tonight by this year's executive leadership team.
Good evening, I'm Cadet Deputy Group Commander Evan Bowen.
Good evening, I'm Cadet First Lieutenant Sierra Breda, and I'm this year's superintendent.
Good evening, I'm Cadet Major DeJohn, and I'm this year's Bravo Squadron Commander.
Good evening, I'm Cadet Captain Nancy, and I have the privilege of being this year's Bravo Squadron Director of Operations.
Good evening, I'm Cadet Major Breda, and I'm this year's Alpha Squadron Commander. Good evening, I'm Cadet Captain Quantrill, and this year's Alpha Squadron Director of Operations. Good evening, I'm Cadet Captain Josh, and I'm this year's Director of Services.
Good evening, I'm Cadet Captain Suzuki, this year's Logistics Director. Good evening, I'm Cadet Captain Walfo, and I'm this year's Director of Cyber. Good evening, I'm Cadet Captain Robert, and I'm Office Director.
From our cadets, you might have heard some new positions this year. That's one of the many things we'll be going over tonight, which are detailed here on this slide. I'll give you a moment here to look over it. Well then, to get started, I'll be passing the mic to Cadet Major DeJohn with last year's Cadet Impact Goals.
Thank you, Cadet Colonel Ona. So last year we had various goals that covered the cadets' physical fitness, the cadets' morale, and just overall improve the wellness of the cadet corps. So with a 3.375 cumulative GPA, that was the average across all the cadets in the unit, we were able to exceed our goal of 3.3. With 29 new members inducted into our Kitty Hawk Honor Society, we were able to greatly exceed our goal of 12 new Kitty Hawk Honor Society members inducted. With 50 cadets, which was 40% of our cadet corps, we were able to exceed our goal of 20% of our cadet corps, achieving a 75% or greater on our physical fitness test. And with 74% of our cadet corps participating in at least one LDR, we were able to exceed our goal of 70% of our cadet corps participating in at least one LDR. With 5 morale events held, we were able to meet our goal of 5 morale events held with our movie night, holiday party, bowling night, airsoft night, and our military ball. And with a 94.55% average uniform score across the entire unit, we were able to exceed our goal of 85% in the first semester and 87.5% in the second semester. Now handed it off to Cadet Captain Kyle Ensinger.
Thank you, Cadet Major Dijon. As you just heard, our cadets do so much to help out within our unit with our cadet impact goals, but they also do a ton to help out our school and community through our school impact goals. We were able to meet our first school impact goal last year, which was to plan and execute at least 9 school and community beautification events, which are events that we go out into our community to help clean it up and make it a little nicer. One example of this is our stadium cleanups, which we do after every home football game. And so we go, and it's a ton of cadets come. We had almost half of our unit come to our first stadium cleanup with 63 cadets. And so we were able to pick up a ton of trash off of our stadium and the surrounding areas around our stadium. Another example is our roadside cleanups, which we do several times throughout the year. And so we're able to pick up a ton of trash off of the edge of Flanders-Drakestown Road. And we do this from the high school out to Turkey Brook Park. And you guys would not believe how much trash that we get off of the side of the road. It's really, really amazing. We were able to exceed our next goal, which was to compete in at least 2 competitions held by other JROTS units. And the reason we were able to exceed this is due to the Northern Burlington Raider competition, which they held for the first time last year. We were able to go and compete in that. We were extremely successful in that, which was great. And we were also extremely successful in our drill competitions. We'll hear more about that from Cadet Captain Panchal later. Our next goal is super, super important to our unit with our appreciation event goal. We were able to exceed this with 10 appreciation events hold with a goal of 8. And the reason this is so important to us is because it's truly our chance to go out and appreciate all the faculty, all the staff administration who have given so much to help out our time with high school as well as prepare us for life outside of high school. Our next goal is our recruitment and retention rate goal. We were able to meet our retention rate goal by having at least 85% of the cadet corps come back for the next year, which is super amazing. And we were able to greatly exceed our recruitment goal by 11 cadets. We were able to recruit 61 cadets into our unit with the goal of having 50 cadets recruited, which is super amazing. And the reason we were able to do this is by exceeding our recruitment event goal, by having 6 recruitment events with a goal of 5. You guys can see the list up there. And we were also able to have our 1 showcase event with the Winter Pep Rally last year. We were able to show off our amazing arm drill team as well as our great exhibition skills. Up next is Cadet Major Rihanna Ferreira with the community impact goals for last year.
Thank you, Cadet Ensinger. So for our community impact goals, last year we were able to accumulate 2,245 community service hours, which exceeds our initial goal of 1,650 community service hours. Our next goal that we farly exceeded was our 75% participation rate in 2 or more community service events throughout the entire year, which allows our cadets to get out there and really give back to the community that's given so much to us. We exceeded this with an 85% participation rate throughout 2 or more community service events throughout the year. And then our third goal that we met was our 3 charitable events, which was our blood drive, our Operation Jersey Cares drive, and our car wash, raising awareness and funding for Usher syndrome. And our last goal that we farly exceeded, almost tripling this number, was 50 community service events hours outside of ROTC, and we tripled this number with 121 hours and a half, which we're very, very excited about because this is our first year that we instilled this goal, and we were able to farly surpass it. Up next is Cadet Captain Panchal with our cadet accomplishments.
Okay, so by far our most important accomplishment last year was earning Distinguished Unit with Merit Award. And of course, this was not possible without getting a perfect score on our unit assessment and an exceeded standard overall rating. This award is a really high-level award, and I mean, it has to be one of our most important accomplishments last year, obviously. Again, we exceeded a 100 cadet viability, and we had our most successful drill season. You can see on the board that there's a list of awards that we won, and this was only around 1/5 of the awards that we won last year, so you can imagine how many we won. A new thing that we started last year was Joint Leadership Academic Bowl, or JLAB. This is the first year that we did our LDR, and we competed with 2 teams, and both teams got to level 2 of testing. And a really cool thing is that we were the only school in the tri-state area that got to level 2 with both of our teams. Team A was really close to getting selected for nationals with a high score of 84%. And I'm going to hand it off to Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Evan Bowen.
Thank you, Cadet Captain Panchal. So this year, we once again held our yearly leadership workshop from the 18th to 20th of August. So we developed during our leadership workshop went over our unit goals, so our cadet impact, our school impact, our community impact. We gained access to wings, went over our regulations and requirements, because although we have our personal goals we want to achieve as a unit, we also get stuff from headquarters. We also prepared for our first year cadet orientation. We had 23 cadets attend this, so in my personal opinion, it went very well. We learned about our cadet responsibilities, so what our jobs is, how we do our jobs, what to do with it. I will now be passing on to Cadet Colonel Ona.
Thank you, Cadet Bowen. Ooh. I feel so tall moving that mic up. Usually I'm the one that has to move it down.
I feel you.
But as Cadet Dijon mentioned earlier, we were able to greatly exceed a good number of our cadet impact goals last year. And because of that, we've decided to increase the numbers for some of our goals this year. If you see on the slide, you'll see that our Kitty Hawk goal has been increased from 12 new members to 14, and our uniform score was increased for the second semester from 87.5% to 90%. We've also added a few new goals. If you look in generally the middle of the slide, you'll see our 95% PT uniform wear score for the year. And on this next slide here, you'll see 2 new goals regarding promotions. 50% of our first-year cadets will be promoted to at least Airman First Class by the end of the school year, and 75% of our eligible returning cadets will be promoted at least 1 time by the end of the school year. And next, I'll be passing it on to Cadet First Lieutenant Freda with this year's school impact goals.
Thank you, Ona. A bit short, but okay, we'll bring it up a bit. Okay. So for the school impact goals of this year, we wanted to keep a steady flow of 50 new cadets, but we also wanted to bring down the retention rate just a little bit, just because there's so many of us this year. And to do that, we plan to hold 6 recruitment events consisting of 1 school-wide event, and then also hold 8 school appreciation events just to show our appreciation around the school. In the picture over there, you can see that we did our guidance department, and they really appreciated it. No pun intended. Thank you for the chuckle. I really enjoyed that. Okay, and then we also plan to execute at least 9 school or community beautification events, which Kyle beautifully explained, so I don't have to go into that. And then we also want to compete in at least 3 LDR competitions now that Raider is an option. So now we have drill and Raider. Now passing it off to Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Bowen.
Thank you, Cadet First Lieutenant Ferreira. So this year for recruitment intention, our goal for recruitment is at least 50 new cadets the 25-26 school year. So how we do our recruitment events, we go out there, so in October, we had a flag floating with the safety patrol at CMS. Actually, next week in November, we have an assembly where we're going to go to the middle school. We're going to show off our color guard, our Raider team, show them how we operate. Later in January, we have a lunchtime table, and we have a shadow day. Shadow day is really interesting. They're actually going to come visit us for the day, and we're going to show them how we run things in-house. So for retention, we currently have 61 first-year cadets. We're losing 23 seniors, so that leaves us with 125 total cadets that are eligible to return for next year. With a goal of 80% retention rate, we need to have at least 100 cadets stick around. To have these cadets stick around, we have extracurricular activities such as LDRs. Color guard, rocketry, they love that camaraderie, God, we build there, keeps them coming. And we have a great leadership team that, we support our cadets, and it makes them want to keep coming out there. We now be passing on to Cadet Captain Yash.
Thank you, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Bowen. So, with the success we had last year in exceeding all of our community service goals, we want to maintain those high standards for this year. Our overall goal is 2,400 hours, which is 750 more than last year. And the reason we set this goal so high is, once again, we did outstanding with community service last year, and also because we've had such successful recruitment this year. Some events we've had so far, beautification events, which Cadet Captain Ensinger beautifully explained. So that includes stadium cleanups. We've had a campus cleanup. We've had an AVM cleanup at Turkey Brook Park. Also at Turkey Brook Park, we had our POW MIA March. We help out at school events such as college fairs, and also everything we earn from our leadership development requirements. We have multiple events planned in the future for cadets to participate in, which brings me to our next goal that 80% of the cadet corps will participate in at least 2 community service events, compared to last year's 75%, which we exceeded by 10%. Also last year, we met our goal of 3 charitable events with our blood drive, Operation Jersey Cares, and car wash. And with the amount of cadets we inducted into Kitty Hawk Honor Society last year, we raised that to 4, and that will be something we continue to work on throughout the year. Also, we encourage every cadet to stay involved outside of ROTC, whether it be scouts or school clubs or just volunteering within the community. So our goal was 150 hours, but just last week we actually reached that, and right now we are at 193 hours. So that goal has been increased to 400 hours. So with that, I'll hand it over to Cadet Captain Boafo.
Thank you, Cadet Captain Yash. And now on to what's new. Our unit has done an incredible job at recruiting new cadets, and as a result, we're able to increase the amount of flights that we have from 5 to 6, and we're able to split our flights into 2 squadrons, Alpha and Bravo, and each squadron will receive a squadron director of operations and a squadron commander as well. And additionally, we now have a program to recognize the efforts of cadets that aren't in higher leadership positions such as us. And these cadets will receive Outstanding Cadet Award, and we will be nominating 2 cadets each quarter, 1 returning cadet and 1 new cadet. And this is just to recognize their efforts. Additionally, we have been able to enjoy the company of Roxbury School amongst our ranks for the past 3 years. However, due to a change in their schedule, we will no longer be able to accommodate them, and they will unfortunately be leaving us. And finally, due to Air Force regulation, we will be rolling out ABUs. We'll be taking back ABUs, and we'll be phasing out OCPs to our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th years. And now on to First Lieutenant Sierra for the morale events.
Thank you, Boafo. Okay, so within RTC, we strive to make that sense of belonging, that sense of community, and in doing that, we do morale events. So we do little fun activities that get the cadets all together, like get them to know each other. And this year, we plan to do 6 morale events. We have movie night, strike force, airsoft night, holiday partying, ice skating, which is new, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully no one, falls on their butt, hopefully. We have bowling and then military ball, which I know some of you were at, so we hope to see you again this year if you can't make it. But yeah, hope to see you guys back over there. Come on, it's a great party. Come on now.
I'll be able to dance.
But yeah, those are our 6, and we have already completed 1, which was our movie night. They had a kind of list of movies to pick from. Unfortunately, Hotel Transylvania was picked. I personally wanted Gremlins, but I digress. That's what we had. And so our next morale event will be the Strike Force Airsoft. That is going to be our next one. Now passing it on to Cadet Captain Zalewski.
Thank you, Cadet First Lieutenant Ferreira. Good evening, everyone. Now, with this year's cadet enrichment, the cadet leadership team held its annual first-year cadet orientation, where 23 of 61 cadets were led by the leadership team through what it's like to be a junior ROTC cadet. Cadets really got to experience what a day in the life of what it's like to be a cadet. Additionally, 19 cadets attended cadet leadership course, better known as CLC. CLC is a mock military boot camp where cadets what it's like to be in the military and bring back to the unit many qualities such as leadership. Unfortunately, this year CLC was cut short due to extreme heat. We look forward to coming back next year. Up next is Cadet Captain Mombrum with leadership development requirements.
Thank you. Next up, we have LDRs, which are our extracurriculars in ROTC. We have 3 categories of LDRs: STEAM, activity-based, and unit-based. I meant STEM. STEM-based, activity-based, and unit-based. STEM-based are in classroom settings. They require more brains, more, mathematical stuff. Activity-based are more physical, outside the classroom. It includes exhibition drill, new cadet drill, Kitty Hawk, and color guard. And we have unit-based, which is our committees that are all held during lunch. For example, we have military ball, armament committee, armament team, holiday party committee. And with this coming year, we have 101 cadets that are enrolled in LDRs, which is a huge increase from last year. And another thing, we exceed the standards of having 7 LDRs with 1 cadet, or with 1, we exceed the standards of having 7 LDRs with 1 in each tier, which is the 3 tiers over there. And now I'll be passing it off to Cadet Colonel Ona.
Thank you, Cadet Momrun. Would you look at that? This is the same slide I briefed last year. Well, as for our curriculum in action field trips last year, 43 of our first-year cadets were able to visit Picatinny Arsenal, where they experienced a historical tour and various technical labs, including a virtual reality flight simulator. And as for our returning cadets, last year, 34 visited Philadelphia, where we were able to visit the Valley Forge, Museum of the American Revolution, and Independence Hall. And as for this year, 97 of our cadets will be marching through New York City tomorrow for our Veterans Day Parade. Can you believe that? I'm pretty sure just 2 years ago, if I remember correctly, that number is greater than the total number of cadets we had in the entire program. And now that's the number we're taking to New York City. That's kind of scary. But as for other trips, once again, our first years will be visiting Picatinny Arsenal, and our returners will have their trip to Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst. Both of those trips are in the planning phase currently. Thank you again for having us tonight, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And do we have any questions from the board or comments? Any comments?
I just wanted to say that, having listened to this presentation for, I think it's my 4th year, how impressed I am about the goals that you set. They're not lofty by any measure, that they are really ambitious goals. And not only are they ambitious goals, that you far exceed them every single year, and you're not satisfied with them. Because looking at your numbers for this year, you guys put yourself on a pretty high measure there, 95%, 90% on things. And certainly, we just want to thank you for how you are such great role models for our school community and beyond. Certainly when you come down to the middle school and the elementary school, kids aspire to be like you. And certainly thank you for that leadership. Thank you for not only what you do for the school community, but what you do beyond Mount Olive and as far as the community service that you employ for all your cadets. Thank you, really, truly. It's such a pleasure and such an honor to see you guys grow into the young women and men that you are. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well done.
Any other comments from the board?
Ms.
There you go.
Narcisse. Madam President, I apologize. I know for the boards, I remember Mr. Stansberry, and I believe it was Dr. Reynolds first brought the idea of a ROTC team to Mount Olive to the board years ago. And unfortunately, not unfortunately, but a lot of the board members aren't on that first, voted that in, and how to watch it grow to where it started with all the trials and tribulations we've had of funding it and how we were going to get recruits and bringing Chief in. And just to see it grow to where you guys have really brought it is it's mind-boggling and very impressive, the work that you guys do year in and year out. And congratulations to the board to keep funding it and keep making it a priority for us, because I do believe it's a very important part of what we offer our students. So congratulations, everybody.
I'd like to make a comment before. I don't think you guys are staying for the whole meet. Are you? Can you hear me?
A little closer.
I don't think you guys are staying for the whole meeting, are you? So we'll comment.
We like them, so we'll let them have a
I am
recess.
very super impressed, like 100% impressed, as we all are. I'm not going to ditto what these two said, but I just want to thank you for your leadership, and your articulation is like amazing for young people, and like you're really striving to be future leaders, and we need that so much in this turbulent world now, and I really do appreciate it, and I so look forward to seeing you far exceed your goals again, which I know you can do if you want to, and I know you guys want it, and I just thank you for being here. Thank you for being here tonight.
Anyone else? Yeah, I see you, Ms. Melendez.
I just want to thank you for your dedication. and your enthusiasm. And also, I'm very surprised and proud that you decided to improve and push on those volunteer hours. It's very ambitious for 100 hours, but I know that there is nothing that is going to stop you guys from that. Congratulations.
Anyone else?
The last thing I do want to share for the people at home is to recognize how much growth this program has had in the past 5 years. As you mentioned in your presentation, that, I want to go back maybe 3 years ago, that we needed to go outside the community to look for recruits. And now, how many numbers do you have right now? The total number?
About 143 cadets.
143. So, and that's a thing that people have to recognize, that this program is by choice. Our students choose to be involved in this program, and that's because of how well you represent students. They want to be like you. So certainly, not only do you have lofty goals, but you are contagious as far as people wanting to be joining the ranks of your program. So you pat on yourselves on the back, because that's a wonderful thing for not only for our schools, but across the whole community.
One more thing, and I know you guys appreciate this, but I'm sure you super thank your leadership, your powerful leadership that you have over there, because without the leadership, none of this, I think, would happen. So, thank you.
Is that all we have?
That's all.
All right. With that, I'm going to dismiss you guys. You are welcome to stay for the remainder of the meeting, or you can run out those doors real quick.
Stay warm tomorrow, guys. It's going to be cold.
But thank you for everything.
Thank you.
John?
John, how are we?
All right, with that, I'm happy to go right into our reports. All right, we will go straight to Personnel Committee report. Ms. Fenton.
So we met 11-4. Everyone was present except for Dr. Bangia. We had a transportation staffing request to get additional driver and 2 subs because of our ever-growing student population. We are looking into substitute pay rate comps. We are reviewing and agreed to a job description for a co-teaching coach. We are implementing a new employee onboarding orientation that they have to complete before they can actually start working here. And we reviewed the district hiring and vacancy updates, which we're doing pretty okay at that point. And that's about it.
Do we have any questions or comments from any other members? No? Okay, seeing that, we'll move on to Finance. Ms. Fitzgerald.
Yes, the Finance Committee also met on the 4th. Everybody was present except for Dr. Bangia. And what we went over, we started obviously with our usual security report, transportation facilities report, and reviewed those. But one of the big exciting things that we get to share is that we got the NJ Cool Grant approval. So that will support up to $1 million for our project at Tints. So everybody, $1 million is not small. So very excited about that, and kudos to the team who applied for that, and made it happen. It really does matter. We also reviewed our budget schedule for the 26-27 budget planning process. So what's happening this month, budget training sessions are being scheduled. And then if you guys are interested in how that whole process will go, the full schedule is there for you guys to see. I would go through it, but it's literally like 3 pages. It is a very extensive schedule that we go through, obviously, to put together a budget for a district our size. We also discussed staffing needs for bus drivers. We, to your point, Ms. Fenton, are definitely in desperate need of drivers. This is also getting to the point where everybody starts getting ill and cold and flu season, so we are definitely pursuing that as well. We discussed the demographic and capacity studies. We've talked about these a couple times, how important it is as we're moving forward in our district to understand what we have in our school district and what we have to use. And so we are looking at quotes right now and examples of capacity studies. We're able to look at a couple examples, and so we'll be reporting to you guys in December, likely with what we've reviewed in terms of quotes. And I think that's a good overview. Any questions?
Just the one item I wanted to kind of make the public aware of when we were discussing the additional staffing needs with regards to our bus drivers. With the opening of the Mount Olive Grove community, it's going to require that we have an increase in bus staffing there. So instead of outsourcing that bus route, as our community grows, that's going to not just increase our need or capacity within the buildings, it's also the transportation department that's going to have major growth that's needed. So we are looking at taking on additional drivers with additional hours to those communities. And we had a number for that about?
I don't know what the number is.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Ms. Narcisse. What did you say?
We had a number for what the total cost currently that we estimated for just those who are moving into Mount Olive Grove right now. Was it around 85 to 100,000?
It was 85 to 100,000, yeah.
That's just for the transportation and driving cost. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, again, the Personnel Committee and our staff has done such a good job of looking at, as a district in general, things that we might contract out and find ways to bring them in-house, which greatly cuts costs. So we've done that in facilities and operations, et cetera, also obviously in transportation and staffing, but looking at that really does help us to keep costs down by making sure that that's something that we have in our district versus having to contract out regularly.
And it's also the location of that new community that's resulting in have separate runs. It's not like it's the community is next to an existing one that we can add some more kids to. So it's really creating whole different bus lines, and that's added cost at this point. So we're trying to plan accordingly so that we don't run into a situation that we're not able to accommodate that. But certainly, as Ms. Fitzgerald pointed out, contracting out has gotten us through some instances, but we, just like everything else, we want our kids on buses with our staff. That it's proven that kids enjoy having a bus driver the same one day in, day out. So that's our goal.
Any other questions or comments from the board? No? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to curriculum and technology. And Ms. Fitzgerald is not here. Do we have someone else from the committee?
No, that's not me.
No, sorry, Ms. Figueroa is not here. Ms. Fenton or Ms. Aquino, did you want to report? Sorry.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
The committee met on Monday, November 3rd. We were all present, including Mrs. Zawetsky, I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I'm sure, and Mrs. Wilkie. We started off with an update on SmartPass and the overview of the dashboard and how committee members could look to see where students are in the building and when they need to use the bathroom. It was absolutely fascinating. Dual enrollment update. Dr. Regan reviewed the steps taken to enhance dual enrollment opportunities for our students. There was a presentation. We're in talks with CCM and expanding the number of dual enrollment opportunities that extend beyond our AP classes. Dr. Bangier reviewed the high school program map that allows students to complete credit recovery, among other provisions, to ensure enrolled students are able to graduate. The committee also reviewed and agreed to a job description for a co-teaching coach. This person will focus on student achievement within the district's co-teaching classrooms in grades 6 through 12. We had a technology report, and we also discussed the new Name Coach platform, which tells people or teaches people how to correctly pronounce names that will be embedded into emails and will be launched later this month.
Any comments or questions from the board? I just want to say thank you to the committee for continuing the efforts on the evaluation and exploration on the dual enrollment. I think it's a very important program for our students. All right, seeing no more. Policy and governance, Ms. Melendez? I know you just met.
Yes, we just met today prior to this meeting. So I'm just going to do a little brief. So we discussed about the Freedom to Read Act-related changes and the policy that Strauss made, the summary of the changes. As the Freedom to Read Act is effective on December 9. So therefore, we discussed a little bit about the Strauss-made policy and regulation guides, with which in the next meeting we are going to have more information about that. Also, we discussed some of the policy, 2530 and regulations, 9130 and 2535, which in the next meeting we will see some first readings, including in the agenda.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from the board? No? Okay, seeing none. We will move to subcommittee and parent-teacher association liaisons. Do we have any reports from the board? No? Do we have anyone from the public that is here for the subcommittee and parent-teacher association? No? Okay. Seeing none, what we will do is we will take a motion to go into confidential session. Anyone?
So moved.
Second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, be it resolved that the board meet in confidential session for the purpose of discussing negotiations, personnel, matters of attorney-client privilege, pending or anticipated litigation, confidential pupil matters, real estate matters. Be it further resolved that the matters discussed in confidential session be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality no longer exists. We are in confidential session. Does she move? You can just put paper. Paper. Good. Oh, there it goes.
I think she says she's all right.
Okay. And I will bring us back to session. Can we take a roll call, please?
Mrs. Aquino? Here. Mrs. Fenton?
Here.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Dr. Giordano?
Here.
Mrs. Melendez?
Here.
Mrs. Narcisse?
Here.
Mrs. O'Neill? Here. Mr. Orzillo?
Okay. And board president's report, I have nothing. Before we go to public comment, I have one item to our agenda, and it's going under personnel action item 8.19, amend personnel action item 8.19 from the October 27, 2025 board meeting, amend the per diem rate pay from $100 to $150 per day for Susan Rossetti, acting principal at Mount Olive High School, effective November 11, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, as needed. And with that, we'll move to comments on action items. Members of the committee may comment on any action item prior to board discussion. Please state your name and address for the record. All comments must be respectfully presented. Abuse or obscene comments will not be tolerated. This is on action items only and is open for the public. And please state your name and address for the record.
Highfield Road. I wanted to comment on the new position that you're adding. So this is another new position to deal with co-teaching. So is this, you're telling me we're going to budget for another $150,000 approximately between benefits and salary? This other person is not going to have student contact. And we need 35 hours a week to deal with co-teaching. So that means that the people we have placed right now aren't good enough. They can't do that job. So the supervisors in the building, the principals in the building, the directors that we have, multiple directors having to do a special education, all the way up. For my camp, it's like 8 people. Okay, we need another person to deal with this. Okay, we need 9. I have to question the effectiveness of this and the efficiency of this, that this is an essential person that we need because the people we have, again, I'm assuming, can't do that job. So why is it that they can't effectively implement, monitor, and evaluate co-teaching in our district? And what are the metrics that you're going to use to determine the effectiveness of this position? The next comment I have is you have your NJQSAC report that you're going to be approving, I guess. So I've asked multiple times about whether or not the board verifies the information that you're given, or if you just accept it face value. And I've raised this with Hibbs, and we've raised this at the referendum. And so again, the question for the board, okay, is whether or not you have verified information, or you're just assuming that it's true, whatever it is that's been presented to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public on action items? Nope, seeing none. We will put out a public comment on action items, and we will move to take a vote on item 7.1 all the way through to 11.1. Do I have a motion?
take that motion.
Second.
And do we have any comments or questions from the board?
I just follow up to Mr. Capone's questions. I think it's appropriate if we want to address them after he asks those questions. I don't know if the board feels that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Banji and Ms. Fenn. That is a budget neutral addition. That is not a new addition that's being added to our budget, so we don't have to budget for that.
Correct.
We're repurposing a position from that. And I think it's just in good faith that we do answer when we can.
Yes.
And I'm not going to speak for everyone on the board. I don't accept anything at value as far as I.
Questions from the board? No? All right, seeing none, we will take a roll call.
Mrs. Fenton?
And abstain on.
I'm going to abstain to anything that says Lisa Fenn and yes to everything else.
Mrs. Aquino?
Yes, but abstaining on 7.1 Aquino.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Abstain on point 1, anything that mentions
services programs overview as well. So please come out if you have children between grades K and 5, just to learn about what they're doing during school day.
Thank you. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And we are closed.